So, you seen some of my shenanigans online the other day?
I fell in love with some of your shenanigans online.
Fell in love?
Yep.
Really?
That's weird.
Yep.
Really? Because, like, my thought when I do some of those sometimes is always like, well, that was some dark work. Like, I don't feel good about that. Like, it's almost like I just... like
There's
I'm
some
getting
necromancery.
No, it's more like I'm getting home after, like, a mob hit.
Yeah.
And I'm cleaning up in the sink.
Yeah. You're just wiping the blood away.
The wife is like, was it a long night? I don't want to talk about
Yeah.
it. You know, it's like
You should
one of
ask
those-
questions to which you don't want the answers.
Yeah. I'm doing this to keep bread on our table.
That's my business. You worry about your business.
Did you watch the video back yet?
I did watch it. Yeah,
Yeah, you did?
Yeah,
And?
but I'm trying not to inform much of an opinion because I'm going to react to it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but
By this time, you may have already reacted to it.
there were definitely some things where I was like, hold on. Not to you or you necessarily, just like the conversation, like the septum, the biggest septum.
Yeah.
I definitely don't have the biggest septum.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Let's
don't
set the
want,
record
I don't
straight.
want to.
I figured there would be some things that you would clear up.
Yeah,
You know?
I don't want to, because there's going to be people who will go, his septum's not as big as so and so. I know 3 people with a bigger septum than me.
Jesus.
That must be like a very like unique crowd because like I don't
for
know if
sure.
I could go out and find people that would fall into that category, but like you probably could a lot easier being.
Oh,
in that.
yeah. Well, I know most of what's out there for
Yeah.
that. There are a few unknowns out there, though. So, like, there could be a guy sitting there watching that video with a 35 millimeter septum that's just never posted on social media.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you don't necessarily know who's out there in the
Yeah.
bushes. So
Maybe there's a list like there's like the actual rich people list. There's
Yeah, I
like a
don't
list
think
of
that
like people with
list
the biggest septums.
Yeah, probably.
It's a government secret till Facebook leaks it.
Septum secrets.
if you ever want to know if you have the best or the biggest of anything, say you do, and someone will prove
Yeah,
you
someone
wrong.
will throw some mad hate at it.
Well, yeah, someone will come out of the clear blue sky with, well, there's these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've never even seen a comment from you before, asshole. Where have you been hiding?
That's one of my favorite things about the comments.
The lurkers.
Like, I just love when people, like, throw out factoids where you're just like, oh, wow. I never thought I'd get an answer to that.
Well, we were flippantly talking on one of the earliest podcasts we did about my helix piercing.
Yeah.
This one. And someone showed me someone with a bigger helix piercing, has both sides done.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I buy it because, and I've said this to the same guy who showed it to me when he did it. I was like, the difference between me and this guy is he had his scalpels punched out. I could tell because of the shape of the ear.
Yeah.
I've looked at this stuff enough to know how an ear stretches, and it stretches more like outward. So you
Yeah.
end up like going like your ear will kind of bow out because it's harder to stretch inward than outward because this is softer tissue than this.
Yeah.
So like you'll get this deformation, right?
Yep.
Sorry, slurring a little this morning.
It's okay.
Still getting used to the new,
Still
new
drunk.
Still
tongue,
getting
eh?
used to the tongue.
Yeah. How is it?
That's not tea in there. That's just bourbon.
Just
yeah,
bourbon.
I'm half cut.
Yeah.
At all times.
By noon, I'll be on my ass.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
the wound's nice and clean though, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
it's
there's
sterile.
no wound anymore. It's
Yeah.
completely sealed up.
Wow.
But anyway, I wanted to finish that point about the ear. Was I could tell this guy's ear had been cut to that size because it was just like it was like if I took your ear and cut a perfect circle out of it.
Yeah.
So like there was no stretching. So I was like, I don't know if that's the same thing. And I'm not diminishing.
It's just a different
his-
approach.
Yeah, I'm not diminishing what he did. That would hurt like hell. But
Yeah.
like, it's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
You can't do the same thing stretching as you can scalpeling out.
No.
It'll have a different shape.
Yeah, of course.
So I still haven't seen anyone who's stretched their helix bigger than me. I would love for
So
someone.
if there is one,
This is an open invitation.
Yeah.
Anyone out there who knows someone who stretched their helix bigger than me,
yeah.
feel free to share.
So is there like any byproducts that comes along with that? Like, do you get like less headaches? Did you resolve any of those kind of things with the piercings?
So they believe the daith piercing
Yeah.
will help with that, but I don't have one of those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the daith is just like inner thing here. And I've seen it work after 1, I've seen it work after 2, and I've seen it not work at all. Apparently it's just again, no one's going to do a scientific study of like 10,000 people all that have migraines that all need to get their ears punched. So unfortunately it's all just stories, but the first time I saw it was like there was this girl who was 17, 18, something like that, and she was just debilitating migraines, debilitating. The first one didn't do anything, and she was crushed, like absolutely crushed. And we just told her like, hey, sometimes you need to do both, and sometimes it won't work at all. It just is what it is. And she said the second one, as soon as it happened, she felt an entirely different pressure in her head. Like her whole head changed. And I don't know. I mean, it makes sense, I guess, in some ways, but I don't know. I don't really understand the function of a migraine in terms of what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know enough about it either.
Because, like, I don't know. It just seems kind of mysterious in many respects. Because, like, there's not much you can do for them other than, like, painkillers. But even then, that doesn't really help.
All you're doing is dulling your, like, noticing of it.
Yeah.
You're not really addressing anything that's happening.
No,
You're
there's
just
no, like...
putting a sheet over it.
Yeah, there's no, like, lights-off pill that changes it.
Like, if you get migraines from having, like, an unalignment or misalignment in your spine, then you can correct it through, like, going to a chiropractor, stretching, whatever, instead of taking Advil, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah, like...
But if it's, like, an internal pressure...
Yeah.
My question with all these things, though, like, because pressure would... My first thought is inflammation, right? Mm. So, I always think, like... I'd be interested to see if stuff that is lowering inflammation, like an intervention, either like an aggressive therapeutic that would lower inflammation would help something like that. Like, I just think to like wherever we're going to go with stem cells, like stem cells has a massive anti-inflammatory property. So I always wonder, like, if you could figure out the root cause of that and just shoot a little stem cell in there, just to see if it is inflammatory.
Just to see if you like it.
Yeah, just to see how it feels.
Get a little taste.
Yeah, just a little tickle of stem cells. But it's like, if that's the thing, if that's like pressure because of inflammation, then we should be able to address that with some sort of like prophylactic intervention, like lifestyle wise. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
I don't get migraines either, so like I'm probably a poor example to relate to it. But
my Oma's had them her whole life.
Yeah. When I was young, I had them. Like crazy. I was taken to the hospital one time when I was like 10. They thought I was having a brain aneurysm because I was in so much pain. It was like throbbing. It was like where you can't think. Like it was just like mind numbing. But I've had 3 concussions in my life too. So I don't know if that might be related.
Well, I mean, the concussions are not good.
No, I haven't had a concussion since I was like 12.
Yeah.
But me and my brothers used to knock the hell out of each other. So, and my stepdad too.
That's another one I find fascinating. Like, I read Dr. Daniel Ammon's book, and he's like traumatic brain injury guy.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how, like, I mean, concussions are a huge portion of what happens with the brain in terms of blood flow afterwards. But he was talking about how you can get traumatic brain injury from a good roller coaster.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, I bet. Because you're just rattling around. Right?
Yeah.
But
it's just one of those like
baby syndrome kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, pretty well.
Just
shaking adults.
You have to be this tall to get shook as an adult.
Yeah. Because I mean, your brain's just kind of hanging out there in some fluid.
Yeah.
Like
piloting this meat vessel.
Yeah, this meat suit of ours.
But as far as the daith piercing and migraines go, I don't know how much I believe in that.
I don't know how much I believe in anything.
I just think, fair enough.
It's hard because it's just like so situational.
It's a little woo-woo for me.
Yeah.
And I think it's another one of those things that if it worked for you, great. But I think it might have more to do with how much you believe in it.
I would just have to understand the biology of what's happening.
Well,
because like if there's something to like, okay, there's a so-and-so in that little area, and if it's perforated, it changes the blah, blah, blah. And then like, any amount of that, I'd be like, sweet. I can dig it.
Have you ever had like vertigo though?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I had like really bad ear pressure problems after flying by a volcano that erupted, and like man, like
sorry.
Oh yeah, so I was in Guatemala.
Don't just drift past that.
I was in Guatemala and we were
Break
flying
that
out,
down a
and
bit.
they were like, "We can't fly because the volcano was about to erupt," and then it did erupt. So we were grounded for another 24 hours because apparently the ash is super acidic and will eat up the fans of the plane, the propellers.
Plus, just like don't fly near a volcano.
Well, that too, but
that seems like one like.
How often are you
level
be
1 of
around
flight school?
A volcano erupting, though.
But it's just one of those things that you'd glaze over in course. And of course, don't fly near a volcano that's erupting. And of course.
But like, okay, so the crazy, like, I didn't understand the impact though. So like, the next day, 8 a.m., get on a plane. It's Sunday now. Fly back into Canada. Like, get home at midnight, 1, whatever. Wake up in the morning. I'm in the shower, and I just like fall out of my shower.
Oh, wow.
And just like the room spins up sideways, and like the only thing that could alleviate it was doing. I can't remember the reset's called. My chiropractor did it for me, where they reset like the fluid in your ear.
Yeah.
But man, like your ears, they literally hold you in place all the time, right?
That's the thing that's keeping you upright.
Yeah,
I
basically.
get so many people think I can't hear anymore, or that my hearing was worse.
Because you got shot in your ears a whole bunch of times.
I mean, if it is any worse, I've adapted to it so much that I haven't even noticed.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, there's people who are just like, there's no way that guy's ear works anymore. He ain't hearing shit. Like, just matter of fact, like he can't hear fucking anything. And it's like, you know this how?
People that lose their entire ears can hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I know people who have removed their ears that can still hear.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
And
But
like,
that's one of those things too. It's just like when I found out that bears don't hibernate.
Yeah.
It's just one of those like, oh, I guess I was just wrong. Like
Yeah,
forever.
It's just amazing to me how certain people can be about things they have no idea.
Yeah.
about.
so firm on the idea.
Yeah,
of it.
and like, how do you get that? Like, you could have an impression. I could be like, yeah, maybe that would hurt your ear, but like to be saying to a complete stranger, your ears don't work anymore.
exactly.
Yeah,
And if
my
you say
ears
they
are
do, you're
normal.
lying.
Your ears have a bunch of piercing and stretches in them. Therefore, your ears don't work. Mine
See,
do.
if that guy commented that, it was just like, your ears don't work, I would just comment back, what?
Yeah. Well, here's the
mine,
thing. So, like, my Instagram is slow traffic. I can keep up with that. I do keep up with that. I respond to all my comments on my Instagram. I try.
God,
Sometimes it takes me a minute, but
Seems like it would take you hundreds of minutes.
I've been doing it forever, so it's just like a muscle that I've worked, and it's fine.
Okay.
TikTok is a different thing.
Yeah.
I do not respond to all the comments on TikTok. I don't respond to almost any
That'd be
comments.
a full-time job, I bet.
Yeah, oh, for sure. They're rolling in faster than I can count.
Yep.
Even right now, every minute of the hour, I'm getting at least one comment, and that's a slow day.
Your
That's
phone's
nuts.
getting physically heavier with comments.
Well, you just stop looking at it the same way.
yeah, of course.
Like, you kind of go, okay, well, I'm of a certain volume on there. You can't address it that way. You need like a PR guy for that.
Even still.
And even then, it wouldn't be worth it. But I do like comment response videos because that's easy traffic.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking easy to turn out like 15 of those in a half an hour, and I've got content for a week. And people love that stuff for some reason. So that's the only way I respond to TikTok stuff.
We should probably start putting that on YouTube on the shorts.
Yeah.
I've done
That's fun.
a few of them, but like,
Yeah, but that stuff's just fun.
Okay, but Kevin and I have been talking about this though. You got to come over and hang out because like we were locked down for COVID. My girlfriend had COVID, and we started just doing like some like reaction videos to just like new music that was coming out.
Yeah.
And man, it's so much fun. And same thing, like I'm just hooked on the comments. Like they're everything but like they're hilarious, like all over the place. And people
YouTube
speak like they
comments
know
are
these
way
artists,
better
right?
than TikTok comments.
They're way more respectful, even though they're in no way respectful.
TikTok comments are like the sewer dwellers of humanity.
I know. Yeah, oh, I
can
There's
imagine.
nothing worse.
I know.
Like,
well,
and-
I'm sure there is.
But you got to come over, man. We got to do it because we could have a lot of fun, I think.
I just think shorts are fun. Like, I really hope that they keep doing them.
What I enjoy about that sort of content is you don't have to put a lot into it.
Exactly.
You just
That's
kinda-
what I mean, like, by the fun
It's like
part.
a fart in the wind, you
Yeah.
know? Like, it's-
Okay, but you know, I
Dear
will give you
God.
credit
A
though.
short
Like,
fart.
like the majority of your TikTok all looks very well, like lit, and like even like the video quality is all very good though. And that probably would separate you from the next guy doing the same thing, right?
I guess. I mean,
like-
I'm not trying hard on it.
I think
I
the
know,
thing
but
that's going to separate him from the next guy is the bodysuit of
That too.
tattoos,
But,
personally.
Strange.
but like what phone do you use? No,
I
like
have an iPhone 11 Pro.
Yeah, so you don't have a better camera than me, but whenever I post something on TikTok, man, it looks like just some regular person posting something on TikTok, and yours all look super pro. So like
know.
it's rude that you're not using that on something like YouTube
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, quit being rude, bro.
Yeah.
I think I'm like, I look at YouTube more seriously than TikTok.
Why?
Like,
It's
I
just a
don't know.
communication tool.
because I've always watched YouTube and I watched like real shows and stuff like that on there, like real things.
Everything's real.
It is.
1,600 people watched Kevin and I watch a Miley Cyrus video,
Yeah, that I
and
don't
they
understand.
loved it, and I was blown away. And don't get me wrong, it was live. Like she's super talented, all that shit. But like, I did not think that 1,600 people would want to watch Kevin and I talk
People
about
want to watch
microphones.
strange things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's It's weird. Well, to be fair, I watch religiously the One Bite pizza reviews, which is one guy eats some pizza and gives it a rating.
Sarah
every
watches
day.
something like that. She watches Emmy Eats.
Emmy Eats?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
40-something-year-old Asian lady who looks like she's in her 20s.
Yeah.
And she just eats different food and gives a review of it. And
Yeah, that does sound great.
yeah.
I don't know why it sounds
Well,
great.
what she does is, it's really simple, but she just enhances like the crunch sounds and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So-
she
that's fun.
ASMRs it.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's almost like you're eating along with her.
The crunch would keep me up at night.
Really?
Like when people smack, I could just slap them in the face. I don't care who they are.
So you don't find it soothing?
No. Not
Well, the thing
crunch.
is she's probably just barely crunching. It's just that the noise has been like way exaggerated.
You know what?
We can do that.
Have you guys ever seen those videos of those chiropractors doing those like crazy back snaps?
Yes.
They got in trouble for that.
Yeah.
As like a community, they got in trouble. They're like, you
Yeah.
can't do that because people are expecting that kind of a crack now.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't mimic like a microphone all gained up and propped up under someone's back or whatever, right?
No.
Yeah, it's
Because
crazy.
they're not going to get the same experience.
Yeah, no, they want the mega.
I was coming for
they
the
want
crack.
a mega crack.
I was coming for the crack.
And I have just
Yeah.
a normal crack. What's up?
Yeah, they're not doing it right. I seen this guy on YouTube do this. My whole back is supposed to crack.
Okay, that's hilarious though. That's the generation that we live in because we have that with all things, right? Like
Oh,
tattoos,
yeah.
it's like quit editing your photos. Music, quit pitch correcting your vocals, and now it's like chiropractors, quit jacking up your cracks.
Yeah, everything is like that.
Yeah, it really is. Like the surreal side of like, or the extreme reality, is like I don't know. It's messy. Like, okay, can I ask a question?
Sure.
How bad do you think this meta thing is going to be?
I don't think it's going to be much different.
You know what I'm excited for? Is all the like catfish episodes that are going to come out of this.
Yeah, really.
People having avatars that look like nothing like their regular person.
But like, okay, so
Well, there are
Who-
people doing that already.
Yeah, but it's
who
gonna
are
just be
Facebook
enhanced.
users now?
Well, so what?
Like Facebook users are my mom,
Yeah.
your mom.
Yeah, my mom does it
My
too.
mom
Yeah.
loves Facebook,
So-
unfortunately.
Is Meta going to be just like our mom's going to go get VR goggles and go sit in a digital aquarium for some odd reason?
Okay, but
and-
the problem is like my brother is like super fucking smart and he can figure all that VR stuff out. But the minute my mom comes to me and asks me for help, there's no chance. Like it's bad enough I have to help her with a cell phone.
Yeah,
Like,
here's
it
the
definitely
thing.
worked for a long time.
They're going to make it to a point where their users aren't going to be able to use it.
Yeah.
And no one new is going to want to use it because it's Facebook.
But it's a different platform
Yeah.
too, right? Like Facebook's one thing and like the Meta thing's
Yep.
another, right?
no, they just changed their
Well,
name.
Facebook,
no, just
Facebook
the
is-
corporation name. Facebook's still saying Facebook.
Exactly. Facebook is still going to be Facebook. Instagram's still going to be Instagram.
They're just mixing in a VR component.
Yeah. Meta is like kind of the umbrella of all of it.
Like the only thing that I find intriguing is the AR side of things. Like I love the idea that I could have goggles on, and like if we were sitting here and all of a sudden comments are popping up in our AR.
Have you
know what I mean?
ever done VR before?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I hate VR.
Oh, okay.
I don't hate it because I think experientially it's phenomenal.
It's
but
not
I just,
where it needs to be yet.
It just
No.
depends what you want to do. Like, because my brother will take you to some church in Germany and you can walk around in it and look at it all. It's all real.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Experiential. But I'm talking about if I'm just going to do normal things.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want a big old clunky thing on me.
No.
And
I
like
don't want to go to work from home in a pretend office with
So-
my fucking goggles on.
Yeah.
My,
Like when they would like
my coworker that I always bring up, he's been in this online relationship for quite a while, right? And
He's
they
in the
both,
meta.
Well, they both have avatars for streaming. Like they both have they're VTubers, which is what that's called, virtual streamers. So they have
I'm
like
so old.
so okay. So Vince is older than us. Vince
I know,
is-
but like mentally, I think.
I know, Vince is
Apparently I'm
I think
65.
38.
Yep.
But anyway, he's been a gamer and an anime guy his whole life, so
Yeah.
he's a computer guy, right? Anyway, he does VTubing, which is where you have a virtual avatar. So he's a good 300, 350, big boy, right? Sweatpants, the whole deal. Mm-hmm. He does not dress up.
No shit.
Eats pizza, eats chicken. His avatar is a very well-to-do, like, anime art teacher, and he's very handsome, right? So his girlfriend has one of these avatars too. Now, when they're not streaming, they can go on dates together with these characters, and they can walk down parts of the world, like on Google Maps and stuff like that. I don't know the the app or whatever they're using, but they can actually go on like virtual dates places with these characters.
Okay, I don't mean to be a super hater because that is very sweet sounding. You know what I mean? Like that's very cute.
But like when I'm a vegetable, you can do that with me.
Yeah,
You know
right.
what I mean? Because like otherwise, we're just gonna fly to a beach somewhere. and
This
walk on the
might
beach.
be our answer to aging, right? One day.
Sure, but again, I just
Upload to yourself.
Same thing. Like bring me your Oma. Let's put some goggles on her. Let's show her everything she wants from wherever she grew up, and like let's let her have a good time, right? I don't need that in my normal life today, though.
But I also think that that's like that shows a liking of the normal. You know what I mean? Like if you're dissatisfied with the normal reality around you, finding a reality that you do like. Okay.
Isn't that just like a different kind of escapism as like a
course it
drug
is.
addict type thing?
It's
Of course it
hyper
is.
escapism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're literally creating a world that is different than the world around you. Like that's because you like changing your experience and staying within the world is like drugs, right? Like so it's just your relation to the world around you. You might not like your existence, so you change the part that you can change. But this is like, oh, I don't like this universe, so I changed the universe.
Yeah. With
Rather
no
than-
intention of changing the reality of it.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess
it is
reality
the
is still-
reality.
yeah, 'cause you're
it's
still
your
taking it
perception
in,
of
right?
it. But
Yeah.
like
God,
you
that's
still do
fucked up.
take off the goggles and then come back to the boring.
There was a late night cartoon that did an episode about this very thing. It's called Spicy City. It used to air on HBO in like 1998. I remember watching it when I was a kid and thinking like, what if that were real? And now it's becoming real. That episode was like this huge kind of slobby guy is dating this kind of unattractive nerdy girl, but in their fantasy world that they're living in, they're both like knockouts.
This just sounds like Shallow Hal.
I mean,
If anyone's old enough
Something
for
like
that.
that, yeah.
I am.
Do you remember Shallow Hal?
Oh yes, I do.
But they ended up meeting in real life and loving one another despite the fact that they were both unattractive. And I don't think they would have met under any other circumstance because they would have both seen each other and went, oh, you're no good.
Well, there's a ton of that. Like how many people actually get married off like the Tinders and the Bumbles and stuff? Like it happens all the time. It's just like another place of socializing, and it's safer than say like a bar or like especially in social instances, right?
Yeah. And if you're not one to go out anyway, right? Because like there's no way that this guy would ever go to a bar. Like he would never do that. But from the safety of his house, right, he can project himself out into the world as some nicer version of himself.
Yep.
And then all it is when you've already got a pretty face, and everybody does, everybody has a pretty face in that sphere. There's no one who's like cosplaying a broke dude with, a weight problem or like all the,
Like bent out shaped nose. or
yeah,
something,
like a whole bunch of acne and nobody's dressing up that
teeth.
way. So when you're all on like a 100%,
Yeah, we're all hyperhumans.
we're all beautiful level, then it all comes down to your personality
Yeah.
for attracting a mate, right? There's nothing else.
We've been watching a TV show about that. It's called Sexy Beast.
Oh yeah,
Have you seen this?
I haven't seen
Oh
it.
my guy.
I would never recommend it.
Oh, I would
to
recommend it.
anybody.
Yeah, I love
100%
how
right
you're
now.
like, oh god.
So basically, they take some super desperate chick or guy and they paint them all up. Like I'm talking like a lion head, and it's all like makeup and like stage makeup and shit. Their mouth works and everything, and their whole bodies are painted. And then like she would go on a date with like 8, or like I guess it's like 3. It's like a lizard person, like some sort of gargoyle, and someone like, and it's all crazy because it's all
You had me at
personality, right?
gargoyle.
Yep.
Yeah.
But the physicality is entirely removed.
And
Because like
I'm-
every time they reveal who they are, you're like, whoa. I would never think that this is how this person looks.
Yeah.
Which is probably the coolest part of the show.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would skip all of it just to see the reveals.
Yeah, we typically just watch like what they're dressed up as, fast forward all of it, and then just watch the unveilings because they go on dates, right?
Yeah.
And they're like in public, like on a roller coaster, all pimped out, and they're like whatever costume. It's so funny on LSD.
They
it's
always-
so funny.
They always do one of the 3 competitors. They always do one of them dirty and just make them look like absolute trash.
don't
And the
stand a
other 2 are
chance.
kind of like some sort of cute, fluffy animal or something
Yeah.
like that. And then
One's
there's
like a
one that's
witch
just-
with like this big thing on its face.
Yeah, it's
and-
just it's hilarious because that's the person that always goes first.
Yeah.
They're just like out.
So what kind of people are hiding under these things? Are they
mean,
typically pretty good?
They're typically
yeah.
like they're your typical like TV host supermodel.
Yeah.
Like typically.
Yeah, some of them are pretty just normal, but at the same time they're like they look
Like this
it's just
dude is
not what
jacked
you
as
think.
fuck. He's an NFL player, like that type of thing, right?
Yeah.
We, Sarah and I were watching some terrible rom-com on Netflix she put on long ago. I can't remember what it was called. She's All That. That's what it was called.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
Anyway, there's this girl in there she's supposed to be like this ugly, nerdy girl.
Who's
And, like,
drop dead gorgeous.
She's the best looking woman in the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But all the characters are acting like she's some loser. and
Yeah, she's got her hair up and she's wearing
This
glasses.
is holidays. This is Halloween. Hollywood's idea of ugly.
Yeah.
Is this fucking 10?
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
I know.
Anyone would be happy to have this woman.
Yeah.
was
Somehow she's supposed to be ugly.
What was that Locksmith movie we watched the other day?
Army of Thieves.
Yeah, and there's the two chicks, and the one's supposed to be like played down. It's like, man,
Yeah.
she's fucking gorgeous too.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, it's like, oh, so everyone's beautiful. That's
You
cool.
can't get real ass ugly people in Hollywood.
I think the one thing that I do like about British TV shows is that
Oh
more-
yeah.
all ugly.
they're all just
Yeah.
normal looking people. It's like, oh, sweet. Or there's like usually one beautiful person in the cast.
Yeah, but they move away. That's what happens.
Or they kill them off,
Yeah.
which is like the wildest part
I mean,
of the
like
shows.
if you're a good looking British actor, you
Oh
move to
yeah,
America,
you move to
right?
America, yeah.
Yeah, you don't stay
you go
around
up for the
long.
next Marvel movie.
Yeah. So my point on that is like these shows often they're done in a way that's supposed to be like uplifting. Like, look at this, looks don't matter. But it's like, what do you mean looks don't matter?
They're still
they were
fucking
really
gorgeous.
fucking gorgeous
Yeah.
underneath it all.
Yeah.
Like there were no ugly people on
That's
the
the
show.
lesson to learn: is if you're really, really hot, you will still be really, really hot.
That's not a good lesson.
Well,
mean-
the funniest part in that Sexy Beast show is like, so like the chick will vote the one that got played dirty out, right? And then they'll show him a picture, and she'll be like, he's not my type anyways. It's like this
Yeah.
dude walks out and he's just like fucking stunning.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Who,
fucking
who
sure,
are you
lady.
looking for here?
Yeah.
He-Man, for Christ's sake?
Well, I mean, sometimes they have really weird specific things.
There's usually one with like really long hair, like a dude with really
Yeah.
long hair. Which those of you that know, like I used to have hair down here, but these guys always look like fucking
Models.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
Greek gods
Fabio.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, hair
It's
everywhere.
wild.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Wild maids.
Would recommend.
It's like Dave and I were talking about, like, he wanted to do, like, he keeps talking about how he wants to do, like, he wants to be like his own influencer. He wants to get into the fitness thing a little bit. And I was like, yeah, you might stick a toe in, but you don't know what I've seen. Like, that market is saturated with
yeah.
just golden gods.
Yep.
Yes.
Like you can't get in unless you're like creme de la creme. You
Yep.
can't talk about it unless you're,
Like
you know.
I think you could like offer an opinion. Like you could say like the same thing as we're doing with music and like live stuff. Like all I'm doing is giving my honest review, and
Yeah.
there's gonna be people that resonate with that. But if you want to be like the next guy that's like got a gym secret or like taking your shirt off for the audience, man, like you got to look like Thor and fucking self, or it's not gonna happen, right?
I have a friend.
You gotta look like Thor on a good day.
Yeah.
I have an Australian friend. His name is Jackson, and he's modeled some of Sarah's shirts
Yeah.
because I've helped him out, like grow his platform a little bit. And this guy is like, I want to say like probably 280, rock solid. Like he's ripped and huge, massive guy. He looks like he's in his 40s because his face is just like, you know, where you've like that really muscular thing
Yep.
Yeah.
where you start looking
Yeah,
older.
jaw.
You have no
like-
collagen left in your face. You just look older.
He calls me big brother, and I never realized he was like 5 years younger than me.
Oh no way.
He's like, holy shit! I thought
Yeah.
this guy was old enough to be my dad.
Yeah. Well, I
Like-
mean, it's like the guy who plays the mountain.
Yeah.
He's 29.
Yeah,
30.
he's like
Yeah,
my
those
age.
guys, like, they look way older than they are.
It
Yeah.
really makes me like question my existence.
Well, and this guy's doing a podcast, and he was like, "You should come on." And I was like, "I can't come on your podcast."
I'm too small for that.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
really.
so let's go
What the
that
fuck am
way.
I gonna say?
So this is my third time being here, and each time we talk about you coming to work out with us.
Yeah. And Jeremy's gonna get to 280 rock solid.
Yeah.
If I don't know if I would ever want to be the size of this guy, I'll show you him after. I think
Okay.
it's intimidating.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying, when are we going to the gym? And what are we working on?
When am I going to the gym? I don't know when I'm going. I want to go.
So like, okay, so I was talking earlier, and I'm like not looking for the clout or anything, but like I started doing the YouTube thing too, and it's all just for my brain. And the next thing I want to do is gym videos.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be dope, especially like from like the shorts perspective, the TikToks perspective. You know what I mean? I think it'd be a ton of fun. And like Kevin and I've been like working on longevity because I don't have any ego or anything I feel like I need to prove in the gym anymore. And it's been so much fun, man. It's been great.
So
Gotta
I've
come.
never worked out at the gym. I've only ever worked out at home.
Well, we'll take you to a good
completely
gym.
new for me.
Yeah, you should come to the gym, dude.
Yeah, man.
It's
I'll
fun.
introduce you to the owners and everything. It's great.
It's really fun. Our
It's
gym's really
quiet.
great.
24
I
hours.
always get that impression of the gym where it's like this social thing, and I'm like, I'm not
No.
overly social.
No.
I can be a real recluse, which is
The
funny
only-
because my social media is huge.
The only one that's social at the gym is this guy because he's super extrovert.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
I can be really extrovert for a time.
Yeah.
Then I start getting like tired and done
Yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
yeah. Takes energy.
When
from
I
you.
worked at
Yeah.
the gym, man, it was way different because like people would want to talk to you all the time, but like I haven't been in a gym consistently long enough for people to like care. So when we go, man, it's quiet. Like I might say hi to a friend or two, but our gym's huge. It's got two sides. It's got a whole like functional fitness facility on the one side, and then a whole like weightlifting side on the other. And it's
Our gym is really cool too because it's like a lot of people there that are there to do work.
like
Like-
it's all freaks, man.
Yeah.
Not all freaks, but
But there's a lot.
yeah, it's
There's a lot.
very like okay. So you usually get like a bodybuilding friendly crowd, or you don't. And this one is like it's very well mixed.
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like usually it's like okay, the minute you start letting people in that are obviously like on anabolics, it's like now they're all gonna start coming in, and then you got to be careful of people selling in your gym.
Yeah.
and it's like you really got to be careful with that because it'll start scaring the moms away. But this place like it's big enough and it's like set up well enough that like the freaks can go in the corner and do their thing, and people watch and admire, and it's great. And they endorse it. They're like, hey, here's some tripods. Film yourself and tag us in it.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good space.
Well,
I will
it's
be
definitely
honest.
something I'm interested in. I just can never, like, I can't seem to prioritize it. Like, I've got, like, even now today, I'm going to hang out here for a couple hours, right? I was in here for half the day Wednesday, but then I worked every other day this week.
Yeah.
And then it's like, when I'm adding things to my life, I'm always like, where do I fit this?
Yeah,
Well,
but
it's
this will
called
buy
the-
you back time though.
Yeah, plus like if you're coming on board here, your life's gonna be dramatically different.
I know. I
in
can't
terms
even.
of just the
that's
like,
coming. That's hard for me to even tackle with
Yeah.
right now. My mind. I'm like, imagine having time.
oh, dude, you'll have too much time. You'll have too much time on your hands. Like I had to get used to it, and I was in a job that also was not a job, selling guitars before, and it was just one of those like, I had to get used to the idea of like, oh no, this is really chill. This,
Yeah, that's going to be tough to do for me. I'm not saying tough as in, obviously it's not physically tough.
No.
But mentally it's going to
No,
be
you'll
like,
find stuff to do though.
oh, I'm a house cat now.
yeah,
Like,
pretty well.
that's kind of what it's going to be like for me. Because I feel like what I do is kind of like running around in a jungle. Like, it feels a little more wild. Like, you're just always all over the place doing a million things. And then when I'm here, it's like, oh, that would be counterproductive. Like, that would be
Yeah,
destructive.
it'd be awful.
Yeah. Imagine having that kind of energy in this atmosphere.
I mean, even when it gets a little chaotic in here, like I think it was yesterday where we just had the music a little too loud, and it just felt off.
Yeah.
Like everybody couldn't hear each other, and it was just like
Tense.
Fighting for
just
space.
felt tense. And then
Yep.
Ali made mention of it. She's just like, oh, just the music's too loud. And I was like, oh, the music's too loud. Brought it down a little bit, and then all of a sudden the vibe chills out.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those like-
wild.
yeah, it's just like a fine little like, I don't know. It's a finely tuned instrument if it's running right, but it has to be reasonably relaxed because you're trying to get people to do art, like
Yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah,
art,
and
like
you need people to relax too, right?
yeah, and that's the weirdest thing. It's art on command. Art on command is always a weird kind of like
Yeah,
thing.
well, that's it. Like, Sarah will only draw when she feels inspired.
yeah. Like
Right.
what if it was all of a sudden like, hey, sit down and draw for me, and I'm going to pay you for every hour that you're drawing, and I'm going to sit there and watch you do it the whole time.
Yeah.
Like it becomes very like tattoo is a very weird thing compared to
Very
other
vulnerable.
art forms. Yeah, very vulnerable, and like people think that people don't understand the level of taxation on your brain. How every tattoo you do is exhausting, and like yesterday, I had to kind of yell at one of Rick's clients.
Uh-oh.
No, it was fine. I have no like, and this is something I would never do back in the day, but now that I'm just like my brain is a little bit clearer. I have no problem just telling people when they're being idiots. And he
Well,
was
I
being
think
an
this
idiot.
is a great environment to be able to do that.
Yeah.
You can't really do that in some customer service.
Yeah.
But here you can.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I enjoy the idea of is like a lot of places the customer is always right.
Yeah.
Here the customer is almost always wrong.
Yes.
Well, and like, there's like
Yes.
you'll obviously find your routine too, because there's a difference between being like assertive and being an asshole too,
Oh,
right?
for sure.
So,
Yeah.
and obviously, like I know Kevin's not gonna be an asshole, and I'm not gonna be an asshole, but there is ways to deal with that where like, yes, you are wrong, right?
Yep. That's exactly what I did.
Yep.
Because like him and his wife were in here getting tattoos, and Rick was with them all day, and he did all of his wife's tattoo first, and then it was starting his. And I had already prefaced with them that they were going to need a second session because she had more projects to do, and his was a little bigger. It's going to need to do 2 sessions, so I'd already pre-booked them for this.
Yeah.
Like it's already laid out. And the dude starts giving me sass at the front. He's just like, "Guy won't finish my tattoo," like, and it was one of those like,
Well, no, Rick.
"Oh,
won't.
I'm sorry. What do you think is going on here?"
Yeah.
And so like I just basically said like, "Look, man, it's the work comes first. We're going to do it however it needs to happen because we do good work here." And he was like, "Oh, no, I understand that. The work's really nice." And I was like, "No, obviously you don't get it."
Yeah.
Because you made that comment. If you got it, you wouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
It was just one of those like, "No, check your shit at the door, man. Like,
I
get
have
out."
never once argued with Rick when
Yeah.
he said we're done.
Oh my God, he's right.
Rick's also ginormous and could kill any one of us.
Well, there's that part of it, but it's also, for me, it's like, if he says we're done, whether I think so or not, that means we're coming back later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that, it's his say. I would never try and force him to do something.
Ever.
For something permanent to your body that
But
takes
that's
like
the thing.
such a high level
People
of
don't
execution.
understand.
Well, and he's
like,
doing
it
it
should
for a
just
reason
be-
too.
Yeah,
because
that's the
he
thing.
knows skin. It's not just because he's had enough.
Yeah.
He'll go, your skin is no longer reacting the way I want it to. When I touch it, it does the thing.
Yep.
That's all I need to hear.
Yeah.
That means even if I'm annoyed that we didn't get, say, I just had my armpits filled in the other day. Well, I guess it was a few weeks ago now. But one of them we got mostly done. We just need to do highlights in. And the other one is like kind of half done. Now, I'm still sitting here weeks later, and that's still not finished. I'm not angry about it, though. I would have liked to have them both done.
Of course.
But it wasn't like I wasn't feeling the pain that bad, but he told me my skin was starting to get weird.
Yep.
He's worked on me enough now that he knows my skin. He knows that what he's doing isn't going to work as well as it was at first. And you can even see in this tattoo, it's not as dark. The blacks aren't as dark as they are in this one.
Yep.
Because the skin was starting to kind of reject it, starting to get angry.
Yep.
So he knows very well what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
So if he tells you something like that, it's not just because he doesn't want to do the tattoo.
Yep.
It's because he wants to get the most out of what he can do and in your time, right?
That's one of the reasons that I have the confidence to say that to someone like that.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those like, I know that that decision is correct. So if the decision is correct and it's not like, hey, you just push and power through it and then get a shitty result, like, no, I can say with 100% confidence that no, we're not doing it today. Get over yourself.
Yeah.
Because like, it's one of those, the experience and the product afterwards speaks for itself. So it's one of those like, I can be 100% confident with them and go, absolutely not. Like whatever it is that you're mad about, let that go because like we're doing it right for you. Like we're
You're
doing it
supposed to
for
be
you.
We're not
able
doing it for
to
a buck,
do
right?
that
No.
in other areas too. Like you're not supposed to overserve someone alcohol,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
But like a lot of places will.
Yeah, of course.
Right? They're not going to cut. Like, there's a place I used to go to coffee with a friend in town. I won't mention the name, but there was a guy who was always drinking there on his own, and there were times when he was literally pissing his pants the entire time I was there, and they just kept serving him.
Yeah.
Like you could see there was like a soaked spot around his crotch.
Yep.
Where he had been pissing himself for hours and hadn't even realized it.
That's nuts.
Oh my God.
It's like maybe someone should cut this guy off.
Yeah. Where's
Right.
the professionalism, right?
Right. Well, yeah, but I know that they're not alone. Like there's all
Oh,
kinds
it
of
happens.
places.
I worked in a bar for a long time, man. You see that shit lots, right?
Well, so the scary thing about that is when you're dealing with something that's not, so there's professionalism. So I always think back to like the way like handbags are treated right now.
Yeah.
So like there's brands of handbags that you can't go to a store and buy. You have to be invited to purchase. And even when you're invited to purchase, they may not offer you certain tiers of bags until they believe that you're good enough to warrant Like it's kind of like when you get Ferraris. Like
Yeah.
a Ferrari, there's certain levels of Ferraris that you have to apply to be able to pay them millions of dollars.
When they talk about like you have to like take a road test to purchase some of them
Yeah.
too, right? Yeah.
Oh, or complete their driving course.
Yeah.
Because they have a Ferrari test track. You have to sometimes train for them, which like I get it. If you're going to
So-
give me 1,000 horsepower, I kind of should know what I'm doing.
I was at I was working at a casino in Calgary for a night, and I don't know if someone just had to like move their Ferrari, if they just like sent someone out to move it, but it was so funny to watch this car just like sit there and then just like rev through the roof and just barely pull out of the little spot and then stop and then rev through the roof again and just barely pull. It was like, oh yeah, whoever's driving that hasn't driven it before.
Or they shouldn't have bought that car.
Or they shouldn't have bought that car.
Maybe,
yeah.
but both.
But it's like there's certain things where when you're in high value things, you feel like you have the license to approach it with however you think that product needs to be respected, because it's not about the lowest selling the most. It's about maintaining quality.
Yeah.
Like quality is above reproach at that point in time. And the difficulty is if you're at a bar and you're not charging $15 a beer, you're charging $4, all of a sudden you got to sell as many as you can rather than just worry about the quality of what's going out.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the idea of professionalism, or the idea of having a professional intervene and do good things for the client, such as help them not piss themselves,
Yeah.
all of a sudden goes out the window because you're playing the game of lower profit margin, which means you have to sell more. And if we were doing $50 tattoos here,
You'd be getting them in and getting them out.
yeah, you'd be getting $50 tattoos,
Yeah.
but we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should always be known that Rick, like, I feel like when people book in with Rick, I'm not saying anyone should tell them this, but like they should be able to see that the way he develops things over time, right? It's not going to happen in one day.
No.
Almost nothing he does will ever be done in one day. That's just the way he's always been. His strategy towards tattooing, though he's gotten a little better over the years, he's always been pretty good. His strategy has always been the same. Layer 1, layer 2, layers, like it's everything he's done on me has been, we'll do this part today, we'll do this part.
I will say, unless their skin can take it, because there's a lady that's doing a Japanese sleeve, and he went at coloring in a koi, and he was doing a 4 or 5 color layering, and he did the whole koi because her skin could do it. Normally, I would see him do the darker tone, and then let it heal, and then come back and do the next.
The only
But it's
time
like-
he's ever gone real long for me is when he was doing the Witch King.
Yeah.
Like we did like a 6-hour session one day on that. That was the longest I've ever been tattooed by him.
Yeah.
And I was pretty dumb by the end of that.
I wouldn't doubt it. Back of the thighs sucks.
Yeah.
It's like a marathon.
Yeah.
I don't know why that was, but that was the most he ever worked on any one thing that I've ever had.
It's just like sometimes the stars align. Like
Yeah.
I've seen him work enough where it's just like, and you can physically see what's happening to the skin. Like, yes, it changes for him. He'll experience it different in terms of his machine, as like he'll be doing his normal movements and then stuff just isn't going in the same way.
Yeah.
But the skin actually has an inflammatory response
Yep.
to it. And that is actually, you can see it.
The clearest explanation of that is when I was doing my fingers the first time, and Lee was using a 27 mag the first time. Before we even got to the tips of my fingers, because we worked from the bottoms to the tips. The tips of my fingers were starting to swell.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know how I'm going to saturate this.
Yeah.
It's already swollen. We haven't even touched it.
Yep. Your body's trying to get it to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
So it sometimes it does a real good job of that.
every other time we've done it, and Rick did the same thing. We worked down from the tips.
Yeah.
Because we already figured that out. The tips are going to swell before you touch them. So good luck with that. But like that happens in all parts of your body. It's just that you would notice it less, right? Unless you know what you're doing really well. And that's why some people, when they'll do these giant like 10-hour sessions,
Yeah.
8-hour sessions, and I'm just like, just break it down a little. It's like it doesn't have to be that marathon every time.
Some artists structure themselves out of being able to stop. So there's guys out there that are booking themselves so far in advance, and they're charging so much money that when you land there, because I'm assuming you're flying to them,
Yeah.
guess what? You're enduring that. And they're going to do whatever they can to make sure that they finish, because they can't get you in for another one. It's not like, oh, once you're healed, I'll just sneak you in to finish this thing. No, they're booked out for the next 2 years. So good luck.
It's the same thing as my tongue split, where we got all we could done. I know I can get it cut deeper now because my tongue is physically longer, it seems like. Or like I can project it more because I don't have a tie anymore.
Yeah.
So now, if I did it again, he could go farther. So it's one of those.
Yeah, it's the only thing I can say to that. Gross.
Well, I couldn't even stick it out.
Yeah.
Now I can hold it out for like 3 or 4 minutes.
Man.
So like the change in just a few weeks is dramatic.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to go farther, now that's an option. It's like I can't see him again for a year probably, at least, because he's not going to be around.
Well, I mean, but imagine how far you'll be able to stick your tongue out in a year. That's a lot of practice.
I'm focusing now on trying to keep it from regrowing, because part of it has already, like a little bit is regrown in the center. So, because the tongue will try and regrow together.
Oh, I bet. And it heals like crazy too, right?
Yep.
Like how many times in your life you puncture your tongue from biting it or whatever and it grows back in a couple days?
Immediately.
Yeah.
It's wild.
That's the thing. There was no blood after.
Crazy.
I didn't bleed at all.
Crazy.
He stitched me up and that was it.
God.
I wasn't even bleeding the next morning. There was nothing.
So crazy.
Everyone was like, "Are you gonna like choke on your blood?" Nope.
Apparently not.
The tongue doesn't give a fuck. It's just doing its thing.
Tongue is the honey badger of the body. Yeah, man, I'll never do that. I'll never get my tongue split.
Yeah.
There's no.
I love how into it Scott is.
Yeah.
Like he's super about it.
Yeah.
Even like he was texting me about it. I was like, "Hello, Scott." Like,
We never text. This is weird.
Well, like text if it's some necessary thing.
It's mostly like, hey, podcast tomorrow?
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or like he asked me to come up at what my election plans were last year.
What?
If I wanted to come over and watch election coverage. Remember,
That sounds like
That
such a
sounds
ball.
so terrible.
those are the texts in my
I'm with
phone
him.
from him. I can literally like that's the log. It's like come around the back. The back's open. You got a plan for the election? Like it's like podcast tomorrow? Yeah, buddy. Like that kind of stuff. And then 4 or 5 sentences about my tongue. And then when I first seen him, he was, "Oh, I really want to see it." And he's asking me all these questions about it. That motherfucker's gonna get his tongue cut.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
It's gonna happen one day
Yeah.
because he's super interested in it.
I mean, hey, good on him. I'm just not going to do that. I have no interest.
I find it funny though because he was like a missionary.
Yeah.
Like it's just such a
J-Dub
polar-
missionary.
Transition.
Yeah, like what a transition.
It's like a pendulum, right? You push so hard in one direction, and you got to push the other way.
Yeah,
I also, though, like, belief structures aren't who you are.
No.
So he was always Mr. I'll get my tongue split. He
He's-
just didn't know it.
You just need to be in
He thought that would send him to hell.
as I've said to Kevin, I don't know how familiar you are with Seinfeld, but he reminds me of Kramer.
Yep, absolutely.
He honestly reminds me of like a modern Kramer.
And it's funny because he's tall and he moves really fast too.
Yeah,
so,
he's got
like,
that kind of weird movement,
Yeah.
right? That
Yeah.
guilty movement. Like you could see him flipping over a couch, like just
write it off.
wacky stuff. Like you come in the onions at his station,
Yeah.
and then his explanation for the onions at the station was no better. Like it's like skipping rope during tattoos.
Yeah.
like it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
And
He's
then when
like-
you were telling me about some of his clients can be a little transient sometimes. I was like, of course, he's Kramer. Everyone he knows is like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a diss. I fucking love Kramer.
Yeah,
but
I
like,
know.
Yeah, all roses here, right?
You just got to respect the fact that he's Kramer.
Yeah. I got to tell him, like,
Don't
man,
try and change him.
you're
Just embrace it.
beautiful. This is a beautiful thing that you do.
Oh no, hang on, your foot's broken.
What's up? Oh.
Oh. But yeah, he's given me that vibe for a while, and I finally figured out exactly what it was. I was like,
That's really funny though.
this guy's Kramer. He's modern day Kramer.
We should. Have you seen those like advertisements on Facebook where you can get like your photo replaced as whatever?
yeah.
We should for sure get one of him as Kramer.
Yeah,
in
the
suit.
classy Kramer.
Yeah,
The-
but just with Scott's face on the top.
Yeah, the classy Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be a good just everything else is Kramer, just Scott's face.
So we should sell enough of those to pay for getting his tongue split.
There you go. That could be a mission.
You heard it here first.
We at the Remy Show are going to get Scott's tongue split.
Crowdsourcing your tongue split?
Crowdsourcing, yeah.
One classy Scott picture at a time.
Yeah. Did you hear that?
No.
We're going to do Classy Kramer, but with Scott as the head.
I like that.
Yeah. We'll hang it right there.
Yeah, I got my little brother a classy Kramer portrait for Christmas one year.
Fantastic.
Like framed.
That's
Still
awesome.
Hanging in his house somewhere. But
Man, I so wish I didn't fall.
it's not doing that much better, huh?
No, it feels like it's getting worse, and I don't understand. It just hurts.
It's going to get worse until it gets better.
It was like it was dulled by the impact for a long time, and then now it's just like
The
angry.
ice probably helped. The icy stare.
Yeah, the icy stare helped a lot.
Thank God it wasn't a hot stare.
I'm just
Yeah,
picturing you
exactly.
icing your ass now.
Oh man, I would. If I had some ice here right now, I would.
Just sitting on a throne of ice.
Oh, that sounds
Bunch
lovely.
of CBD and just forget about it.
Yeah, I could sleep for
Big
it.
stain, water stain.
Sleep for a week. It's just exhausting.
So back to the point of going to the gym.
Oh, right.
When I am here, I'm gonna need to fill my time with something.
No shit.
Like I'm gonna have to, because like I'm gonna go nuts. Mm-hmm. Like I'm so active at work, right? And when I'm not anymore, that energy is gonna have to go to something. I feel like I'll have like an ADD panic attack at some point.
I would assume you would, yeah.
It's like,
Been there. It happens. Start picking weeds or something.
yeah. What are you doing over there? I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to find something.
Yep.
Because again, there's days where it's just real chill.
Yep.
Like then there's lots of those.
Yeah.
Because really, like, as long as you keep up on everything, it's pretty smooth for the most part.
But I mean, I had a week last week at work where every day was horrible. Like there was something horrible about every day. We were understaffed 2 days in a row, and we had an incredibly busy day Sunday, and it was just, I don't know how long I want to do this.
Yeah.
And then seeing this pace is completely different from that. It's like,
Yeah, the annoyances here are Wi-Fi,
Typical.
people not showing up for appointments.
Typical downtown vagrants.
Yeah, they're rare though.
Mouth breathers.
Yeah.
they don't see them come in too often.
No, we're a tattoo shop. They
Yeah.
walk in here and they're like, "What?"
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's like, I mean, you get the occasional frustrating clientele, but like, again, we're offering a particular type of thing, so it tends to be less of that type of clientele.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you know, you don't have to haggle for people. Like the only time that people haggle is like, you know, they just try and get as much as they can for the shop minimum kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
How much can I stretch out this $100?
Yeah,
What's the
exactly.
biggest tattoo you can do in an hour?
And that's the thing, like the more expensive things are, the less issues there are with the people.
Oh, I
for,
bet.
For 99,
You price out a
99%
lot
of
of
the time.
that.
Well, it's just and they're there for the experience, and they know what they're getting into, and they've done the research, and it's like usually those people will take care of their tattoos well. So even in terms of healing and booking in touch-ups, like, I mean, it's so rare. It's really rare, and I actually wish more people would actually book in for touch-ups and keep their tattoos looking fresh, because you know it's not always going to be perfect, but people will accept a lot. Whereas I like the idea of, you know, making sure you maintain it afterwards.
You don't say.
Start booking follow-ups.
Yeah, but I mean, getting people to go through the pain of it when they've already gone through the pain of it, that's a lot of the times the resistance.
That's so hard for me to understand.
I know it is.
Because if it's worth doing once, it should be worth doing twice.
Yeah,
But-
but a lot of people interact with tattoo differently than you.
People still won't make that decision until you give them the opportunity to.
Yeah, I would agree. I would very much agree. That's that's one of the things that I've noticed. Well, I mean, we've talked about this, but with our industry, a lot of it is like, well, it's not on the tattooer to follow up, obviously, because they're busy, which I totally get that mentality. But I don't know. I think it would be nice if it was like you check in with the client
Well,
later.
if you got to fill your schedule, or if you got to fill your time, I mean, that's one resource to do that, right?
I just think it's more like everything that goes out the door has your name on it. Every person, like, that's one of the reasons that we talk about, like, that we don't do the underage tattoo thing anymore. Like because then you're the shop that does underage tattoos. Like, it doesn't matter the parental consent. I don't care what the story is. It's just like, if you're not above 18, no, because you're going to go around everywhere. Everybody's going to ask you where you got
Yeah.
that.
And then
And then
it's gonna
that's
start
where
coming
you,
down.
that's
Yep.
who you are.
You
And
may
like,
as well be wearing a Rocky Mountain tattoo.
Exactly.
It literally says Rocky Mountain tattoo on you.
Well, that's where, like, whenever I see, your legs out and you have shorts on or whatever, and it's just like, that's me. Mm-hmm. Like, it's your tattoo, obviously, but I did it, and anyone that asks you, that's me connected to it. So I care about how that looks.
Yeah, maybe that diminishes a little, though, the more you do.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Right?
You just do so much volume.
There's 400 Jessies walking around out there. Then
well, I don't know, because like same thing. Like I watched that dude's video yesterday, and he's got like 100 and some odd thousand and a million here and a million there, and he still like commented on my video, and I'm nobody, and he still like took his time to watch it. So I bet you, like, even if you did 1,000 tattoos in a year and you saw one pop up online, you'd be like, oh shit, I did that. Like, you'd still be excited, right?
Yeah, we had what's his name? The guy, we did a reaction video to him.
Yeah. John Barrett.
John Barrett.
Yeah.
He messaged me and wants to be on a show with us.
Yeah.
Awesome.
He has 300,000. So he's bigger on Instagram than I am too. Mm-hmm. So he's not small. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I'd be thrilled to come on and explain some of my process and show you some of the first ones of these. And
He's like, so I like following him in just like how he approaches tattooing, because like to me, if Rick was outgoing technologically, I think their mentality is very similar. So like right now he's talking about this thing that's getting more prominent throughout the states mainly, and I'm sure it'll sneak its way in here, but different states are having to do these tattoo schools to get like a certificate in order to be able to tattoo. And he basically is of the mindset that like people that don't understand tattoo should not be involved in how tattoo is run. Mm-hmm. And it's not that everybody can just apply to tattoo school. It's like tattooing is not for everyone. Yeah. Like there is a reason that these processes are put into place, because like, we've had it at the Kelowna shop. I mean, I've seen apprentices come and go, because a lot of the times, just because you are good at art doesn't mean you have the mindset to be able to do art permanently.
A lot of good artists can't be good tattoo artists.
Yes. And that's the thing. Who is the person that's going to see that? You can't just apply to school, pay your money, go through the course, and then be a tattooer. Like, you have to have a master that's keeping on you and can figure out if you're going to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm. If you can pull this off or not.
And to a level that respects tattooing as a whole. Yeah. Because, like, man, I've seen it, and I can almost pick it out before it happens in terms of just seeing the demeanor of a person, if they're going to be able to handle a harsh critique. Because we don't deal in like, oh, good job, you did it, like pat on the head just because you did something on someone. It's like, no, you're putting this on them for life. Guess what? Good isn't good enough. You need to get to great.
Well, it's like we were talking about the guy we know from over there, and how it would be, you would gladly take him on here, but he'd need to know everything he was doing wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's the thing. It's like,
he's been doing it forever.
Yeah.
He's been doing it for as long as Rick.
Yeah.
And it would be...
Well, they apprenticed together.
Yeah. And he's been around forever, this guy. And he's a great guy, but like it would be one of those, we like you, but you have to go back to the beginning.
Yeah. Legit. Like, you have to relearn your whole way of approaching everything.
Just imagine that, though. Like, you would have to swallow all of your pride in one gulp.
Yep.
Like, I suck.
Yeah.
It's time to relearn everything. Is that even possible, do you think, for that guy?
It depends as to how far... Well, no. I mean, if he took some psychedelics, maybe. But that's one of those things that, like, when you have a hard-run path...
Like, it's got to creep in when he finishes something. Like, oh, that wasn't... Like, that has to come in every now and then to his mind. Like, oh, I could have done better, or that's not that good.
Some people don't look at life like that, though. Like, look at anything that's run poorly. Like, any... okay, I gotta be careful how I say this. There's so many like middle management, upper management, even like ground floor management that shouldn't be managers, and they allow things like that to happen. Like, they teach people that getting something done is more effective than doing something right. And they don't hold them accountable. They don't teach them the way. They don't like walk them down that ladder that they should as a manager. And you can set people up for a lot of failure like that, right?
I think master apprentice, that way of teaching, is more valuable than almost any other way.
Right?
And like pretty well everyone who's come through the kitchen where I work, I've trained over the last 10 years. And it's very hands-on. And then the decision is made whether they're going to be able to do certain things or not. I think a lot of places don't really have that. And then it's like kind of like the blind leading the blind to some extent.
Yep.
Because there's some things you can't learn on your own.
No, there sure isn't.
Like there are these piercing schools too. Like Kevin was talking about tattoo school. There's courses I could take online today. I could just sign up to a course online, and they send me some stuff, and then I watch some videos, and then I'm a piercer.
Yep.
That's so crazy.
Person right over there did that.
Yeah.
That's how they got started piercing.
I know. And like
It was like a week course.
sometimes people, well, yeah, of course.
$750.
They always are, man. It's wild. It's like, oh yeah, you just,
And now you're a piercer.
because like that's the problem with the school mentality, right? Like the school mentality is like just do the things to C minus.
Like a prescription, right?
and then we're cool. You can do the thing. It's like, you know, the idea of like, okay, well, you're going to be a cop, go through cop school, get C minus, and then you're like there has to be a level of competency that's higher
And
So it's
consistency
saying-
too.
and not to mention like just again, it's just like just because you can do something doesn't mean you've done it well.
Some things, like I said, master apprentice is how you do it.
Yeah.
You can't do it any other better way.
Well, it's like dude can make eggs, but
Yeah.
is he making eggs?
Yeah,
No.
it's terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible.
But it, like in his mind, he's making eggs.
Yeah.
Oh, there's eggs there.
It's
This is
that
not gonna kill
particular
someone. That's
problem
cool.
Is one that's in the forefront of my mind whenever I'm around him,
Yeah.
and I'm just sick of him now because he has no ability to recognize the fact that he's not good enough.
And
but he has
that-
such an ego that the minute you mention it to him, he like crumbles.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just this nightmare to deal with where it's like I don't want to make this full-grown man cry,
Yeah.
Why not?
but
It's just
because
he does
he's not
nothing for it.
leaving anytime soon.
Yeah.
Man, you gotta go full Ramsey from time to time.
Because the problem.
Oh, I have been.
The
Good.
problem is like that type of person is equating doing something with being something.
Exactly.
Like somehow not being able to like failing at making eggs is somehow that he is a failure.
He is a
that has nothing to
failure.
do with it.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by the like if someone's going to be able to get over their own ego and accept criticism because like I crave criticism when it comes to tattooing. Don't just pat me on the head, tell me it's good. I want to get better. So tell me where I'm messing up because I'm not good. I'm not doing it long enough. I will never be perfect.
But you're
right?
smart enough to go seek someone out that will tell you that.
Yes, because and that's where I'm saying like when people
I'd
come
rather
in.
have them tell me than talk about me behind my back.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
most people
You know
aren't
what I
like
mean?
that because, like, you know, coming from a management perspective, like I've confronted people and I've spent enough time to try to find ways to communicate with people to like make it easy, make it comfortable, and no one likes to critique, man. Like
No.
9 times out of 10, the high performers love it, and the people that are like intimidated or like self conscious or whatever, they freak out and they turtle up, and it's like, man, like all I'm suggesting is say hi with a smile. Like you're already saying hi, just add the smile.
Oh, you're telling me I'm a failure?
Yeah, like I'm.
Oh shit!
Yeah, this
Am I?
escalated quickly.
I didn't think I was. But yeah, that's like that's the hard part. And tattooing is like in my opinion, it's something that is of permanence,
Yep.
which immediately should have a degree of respect, and it's physically very demanding.
Yeah, and it's like an ancient art. It's been
Yeah.
celebrated for much longer than I could even predict right now. I could guess right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We-
for me, it's like
We
seeing
figured
it,
out how long.
Yeah,
on,
we did.
Remy Reacts
Yeah, it was
once.
thousands of years, right?
Yeah, it was like
3,500 years ago.
Yeah, 35 or 5,000 BC.
Yeah.
Wow.
That ice lady, the ice witch person that they found.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, we've been doing it a long time.
Huh.
And some of those tattoos that were on her from thousands of years ago were better than some of the ones that I'm seeing. So
Yeah, we were really, really good at it. Then we were really terrible at it for a long time.
yeah,
The Western world didn't start out with any leg up from the past.
no,
that's
weird
for sure.
enough. Yeah.
Speaking of illegitimate work, I got to head out.
All right,
Mine,
cool.
So.
Excellent. Thanks for chatting.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.